Hi guys, I want to come on here to just do a few of these together with you before you're doing them on your own, just to show you some examples. So the first part, and this is page 408 in your workbook. So we're doing the review what you know page, and this is just to review fraction terms and what fractions are and all that stuff before we get into equivalent fractions, which we're going to be getting into in the next few days this week. But I want to complete the review what you know page first and just review fractions in general before we get there. So I want to look at the vocabulary first. And before you do this page, if you have not already watched the video I posted yet, please watch that because I review a lot of this stuff on that video. So it's really important that you're watching that video first before you do this page. So please watch that video. If you have already, then okay, let's keep going here. So these are definitions here. You're not going to use all the definitions, you're just using three. But I want to review some of these definitions with you. And you know what? I'm just going to kind of review, give you a brief definition of each word, and then afterwards you can figure out where you think it belongs. So a denominator that's the bottom part of a fraction. So that's how many pieces make up the whole shape. Um, how many pieces are in the whole. That's what they want to know. So, like, for example, if I was looking at this fraction right here, there are two pieces that make up the whole. So the denominator would be two. If I was looking at this shape right here, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight pieces make up the whole. So the denominator would be eight. So the denominator is how many pieces make up the whole. The numerator is the number above the fraction bar. It's the top number, and it's how many pieces of the whole that you're talking about. So for instance, here I'm talking about one out of the two pieces. So my numerator would be one. Here I see one, two, three pieces out of the whole. So my numerator would be three. So that is a numerator. A fraction is what you use just to name part of a whole. When you're naming a part of a whole, that's a fraction. And then a unit fraction is one part of a whole. So a unit fraction will always have one as the numerator there. So you can fill those definitions in however you see fit there. So I want to review this because this is a little tricky. So they want to know two copies of 1/6. Well, um, if you have fraction tiles, you can actually use fraction tiles to help you here. You take out, okay, well, two copies or two pieces of 1/6. How much is that? And let me get my fraction tiles up here. Um, okay, so if I'm having 2/6 here, right? I need two of these 1/6. Well, all right, here's 1/6. Here's another 1/6. So now how many do I have here? How many total pieces do I have here? I have 1/6, 1/6. I have 2/6 pieces, right? 2/6. So if I have two copies of 1/6, I have, and I'm going to try to write here, but a little tricky. I have 2/6. You'll write smaller on yours. It's a little tricky to write on here and write small. So mine's a little large. But so you have 2/6. If you have two copies of 1/6, that's 2/6. If you have three copies of 1/3, okay, well, let me go back to my fraction tiles here. If I have three copies, okay, or that's like saying three pieces of 1/3, well, here's 1/3, okay, here's another 1/3, two. Okay, so I have 3/3 here. If I have 3/3, it's 1, 2, 3/3, right? I have three pieces of it. So I have 3 out of 3. Hmm, You know what that's supposed to say there. So 3 out of 3, right? That's 3/3. And you would do the same thing for all of them. Okay. So 4 copies of 1/5, how much would that be? 2 copies of 1/10, how much would that be? Down here, what write the fraction shown by each figure. Okay, well again, if you watched my video earlier, you know that the denominator is how many pieces make up the whole. So the first, I like to always start with my fraction bar, and then I'm going to say, okay, well, 2 pieces make up the whole here. So I'm writing 2 as my denominator. And then I'm looking to see how many pieces are shaded in. That's going to be my numerator. 1 piece is shaded in. That's my numerator, right? So I'm going to do the same thing here. How many pieces make up my whole? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces make up my whole here. So I'm going to write my 8. And then how many pieces are shaded in? How many are they talking about? 1, 2, 3. So I have 3/8 here. 3/8. So you're going to do the same thing for all of these up to 15. Um, Here, I want you to look at the denominator and then look at how many pieces are in this shape because that's going to help you. And then you're just going to shade in 3/4 on this shape here. So that's what you're doing on the Review What You Know page. And I'm also going to be posting some links that I want you to be going to just practice fractions, just to get familiar with them again. And then tomorrow we'll be talking about equivalent fractions. So I hope that was helpful. If not, please let me know. We can do a Zoom session and we can do it together. But I think you'll be okay with this.